Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for being here today. I had kind of a late night last night. Well, it was mostly because I was finishing up American Idol, and that was kind of pushed back because Belle had her spring sing for first grade, and it was so good, and I was so proud of her. I mean, what's she doing in first grade, memorizing lines and going up to the microphone and just owning it? I was so proud of her. It was a great night, but I'm just kind of waking up feeling a little bit tired this morning, but there were some products that I was really excited to use. Some of them for the first time, and I just thought, let's all experience this. I got some new stuff from Danessa Myricks. I was really drawn into this Yummy Skin Serum Foundation. I'd seen it used on TikTok a time or two, and I thought, I think that needs to happen. And then the Yummy Skin Glow Serum, I got that as well. Just a few new things here and there, so I thought, let's put them on, let's play. So I think I'm going to start out with the Glow Serum. It says Main Squeeze, and you can apply it to face under makeup or wear alone. So I just kind of wanted to see how it would play into the overall look. It looks kind of like transparent almost, like kind of a champagne goldeny color, but see how it's super sheer. Like I'm not really seeing a lot of shimmer in it. Ooh, it is really sticky. It almost feels like one of those you know, tacky primers, like from Milk or Hard Candy, those gripping type of primers. It feels like I just added a ton of hydration to my skin and some glow as well. Okay, palms of my hands look glowy too, but not like any shimmer bits. It's like a luminosity by way of juicy texture. Then this Yummy Skin Foundation. This was the main thing that I wanted to try, and I have it in 6N. You twist the top off. This part is actually squeezy, okay? So I'm gonna squeeze out some. I'm gonna use like that much, the equivalent to what I might get out of like a pump from a bottle. And I feel like this is going to have amazing coverage. It looks a little yellowish as I'm tapping it in, but I think I have more than I need on my finger. Okay, and we're going to bounce this in with the Beauty Blender. The texture of it felt like a pretty standard foundation, you know, it wasn't like slipping off my finger thin, but it felt like a real typical liquid. Look at this. Look at this coverage, my gosh. It's completely full coverage. It's like I saw this on Sephora's website, but I wasn't expecting it to do what it's doing right now. I just kind of had it in my mind that it would be a lighter product. I don't know why. Maybe it's the serum foundation claim, you know? You just think it's going to be something thinner and more skincare oriented, but wow. I still think I have way more than I probably needed on my skin. I think I could have gotten by with half the amount that I squeezed out. And it has a really pretty, like, kind of, see that juiciness across the skin? Really pressing it in around my problem areas because I'm a little worried about some excess here. But the coverage is just gorgeous. And the color seemed to really, like, come around and be perfect too. But it's just making the surface of my skin look so healthy and nice. They say squeeze out a pea-sized amount. That's about what I had. I think you could do even less. And it's a refillable cartridge. Also, they show you how to like twist off the top and bottom to replace that. But it says a skin-loving skincare hybrid foundation with medium buildable coverage. I mean, it's looking pretty full to me. I'm going to definitely be experimenting with amounts on this. It's reminding me so much of the look of Kosas, but even more coverage than that. Formulated with ingredients known to provide antioxidant boost and provide hydration and moisture. And it is like, oh my God, my skin is really like tacky right now. I mean, concealer optional skin for sure. I might put a little on, but man, this stuff delivered in a big way. That's gorgeous. Yummy Skin, that was well named. This is not new to me, but this just kind of like floated to the top of my concealer drawers. I was moving things around in there the other day. It's my Hourglass Vanish Concealer in Silk. I'm just gonna give a couple little dots out there, couple out here. I did Belle's makeup last night for the spring sing. I probably wouldn't have, but she and Biddy were playing the other night, and Biddy came toward her and gave her an absolute like head bonk right on Belle's like cheekbone under her eye, and she had such a bruise right there. Like the skin is really thin there, and you can totally see the bruise. So I was like, all right, since you're gonna have your shining moment here with your solo lines, let's try to cover it up. I used Huda foundation. I could have used any number of high coverage concealers, but I grabbed Tarte Shape Tape because it seemed to be the right shade for her. She's got kind of a tan going on. And you couldn't even see it in the pictures, but it was dark. And it was also just a little bit like raised and puffy there. So I was really going against some things to cover it, but I did. All right, so I just added a little concealer, but I didn't really honestly feel like I needed to. What I really need to do, I feel like, is set this look. I'm gonna use my Fenty Lavender Powder. Rediscovered thing. I've been reaching for it a lot over about the past month or so. I love how brightening this powder is. So it has a little like sifter thing that fills in the holes so you won't have powder going out everywhere. And I'm just gonna use my small tapered brush. And we're gonna first and foremost set the under eye and T-zone. It's like I don't want to take away all my radiance, but man, the skin feels so juicy. But I love the lavender because it never dulls down the look of the skin, like in terms of being too dark. Really brightening. Still a little tacky all over. I think I'll bring in the NYX. I don't want to overdo this powder and end up looking like chalky, but you know what I mean? It's a good under eye setting powder. Bring in the NYX. This is the no filter powder that kind of has a little glow to it. If you have Milani Prep Set and Glow, it's kind of similar to that as well. Hourglass powders, stuff like that. See how you can kind of go over your skin and you kind of get your texture balanced out by not being too sticky on the surface of your skin, but you still have some glow with this stuff. Vanessa Myricks, I mean, that was some nice stuff. So we're all set. Now the skin feels a little more like evenly textured all over. For bronzer, I wanted to show you guys something. I got something new from Wet n Wild. I wanted to try one of these different shades of the Color Icon bronzer. I always love Wet Shady Beaches, so I got Sunset Strip Tease, and it's so much lighter. Like, look at the comparison of the two. I'm gonna try to put a little bit on. Maybe you can see it. Like, fair skin, I think, would love this because it's also kind of cool, you know? But it's buildable. You can get somewhere with it. Like, it's kind of shadowing my hollow of my cheek area right there. It was like I was expecting it to be different from what I had, but not quite that different. Like, wow. As you can see, like, my skin tone, it can do something for it. Put a little up here. Can you see it? It's buildable, let's say that. Fair, light to medium skin, I think, can see something out of that one. Otherwise, you want this. The Wet Shady Beaches is just real quick. Gives a really, I think, convincing looking tan. I've also been trying to do some more rolling on my face. Get back into my ice roller and my, like, I have an amethyst roller up here and a pink quartz roller downstairs that I use after I put my serums on. And I feel like it kind of helps to depuff the face a little bit. I always carry, if I'm gonna get bloated, it's gonna happen here, it seems like, on my body. Is anyone else that way? Face puffiness? All right, so here we are. Got that new bronzer all over. And then my blush. So I didn't waste any time after trying this stuff in my little Sephora Clean Makeup Try Me kit from Say. I wanted to try the Dew blush. And this was another thing that I found out about on TikTok. And I need to like write down names for the people I'm discovering stuff through at times, but I think that's the issue with TikTok. Things happen so fast. People move through your feed of stuff so fast that you don't really like build that connection with them. Like if I sit and watch somebody on YouTube for half an hour, I for sure am going to be able to tell you what their name was and, you know, what their channel is. You kind of get to build that connection of knowing someone more. And then on TikTok, it's like, sure, it was entertaining, it was informative, but who are you? Does anybody else feel that way? Like it's harder to build that, like, okay, I'm really connecting with you. But I saw this use this blush in the shade Chilly like Berg, chilly cold outside. And I wanted to test it out. It looked gorgeous. So, you know how we are with blushes. Sometimes we overdo. Ooh, kind of a juicy feel, like kind of feels like it's stretching across the skin. Really pretty color. By the way, are you digging all the hot pink? This is my new makeup headband. I was thinking of my friend Erica. She likes that pink and red combo. I need to grab her one of these too. Ooh, that was just a little. I think I trusted my gut and applied very minimally. I got it a little lower than I would have liked. I want to feel this. Yeah, it feels like it's got some moisture and like some stretch across the skin. It doesn't just like stay where you put it and stick and stain. And I've also been trying one or two of those Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer blushes. And those, like, you gotta watch those, especially if you might have, you know, gotten a shade that's a little intense for your skin. Like, that stuff wants to get on there and stick. I was expecting more of this kind of texture, honestly, something that feels very serum-like. This is nice. I love that shade. And my skin was already, you know, like the coverage was so good. I don't feel like I messed with that at all with blending out this blush. That's so pretty. What a good shade. Really pretty rosy color. I love it. This is one of those days where I'm kind of thinking, is highlighter even completely necessary? Look at the glow I'm getting, but I do want to do some. Let's do some of this, because this is just, you know, a glorious palette. The True Match Lumi Glow Nude, you need it in the Moon Kissed shade, okay? I'm gonna go over to this one right here. This is my fave. Like, again, you get it, you will swatch it, you will think I was so wrong because the powders feel so dry, and it's like, are these non-existent? But then you put it on your brush and it's like, oh, hello. That really does translate to the skin very, very nicely. You just gotta look past the texture thing and say, that does not feel buttery and smooth, but man, it's how it applies to the skin that really matters, right? And look how, like, brightening it is. Just the tones, the little undertones, kind of unique. Blended in up here, no big chunks of shimmer in any of these. We love it so much. We're then doing some MAC Fix Plus. I've just been getting along really well staying power-wise when I use the Fix Plus, so about 5 mists, man. I still kind of can't get over that foundation. Such pretty coverage. And I like applying something and feeling like, okay, I didn't have to keep throwing it on and piling it on to get to this point, but it was like I used, I thought, a very reasonable amount, but I get to come away feeling like, yeah, I could have gotten away probably using even less. That's a nice feeling, I think. Guys, I have been using the same 2 brow products for a while now in my makeup. I wanted to try these from Kosas. Look at, isn't the packaging fun? It's the Brow Pop Dual Action Defining Pencil and then the Air Brow in dark brown. They were actually selling these in some kind of set a while back, but they were sold out in the shade I needed. And it's kind of a standard looking pencil, like in terms of size, like it's a little pencil, except they have given it a tiny teardrop shape. Typically when we see that shape on a brow product, they're giving us a much thicker pencil. Wow, I look yellow now all of a sudden. You know, I mean, usually that shape results in a thicker pencil, but here it's still like really, really skinny. And I do think the pencil is nice, but I think the little gel stuff is really, really good. I guess I would have to say if somebody really questioned me hard on this stuff, like, could you still get the look from other things? Yes. Grab out a NYX Micro Brow and grab me Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt and I will be happy. I am not a brow product snob, but I did want to try these and I do like them. Would I repurchase? I probably wouldn't see the need to repurchase. I'm enjoying them right now. You know what, do you know that feeling with stuff? Like, yes, this is pleasant. I enjoy you. Your packaging is fun. I do like that this is a square. Okay, like this won't roll off your table. The whole, it's square and it's nice to hold on to. It's actually much better to hold on to than a round pencil. That's a way underrated idea there. So then I just use a little brush up through and then do that to the other eye. It's been a nice little brow pencil though. Birds are chirping out there already. Is it feeling like springtime where you're at yet? All the trees are really starting to get lush around here again. Our cottonwood's got pretty decent sized leaves going on it now. We have a lot of trees back behind our house and it's just a night and day difference when they're bare, like in wintertime. And now it's a totally different vibe. Like you look back there and it's just thick. All right, so I've got that filled in as best I can. Kosas is doing some fun packaging though, because if you look at this stuff, the way this is, and then this is their foundation, these kind of bright colored caps and packaging, I think that's neat. I kind of feel bad for Revealer because this stuff, it's yet another one of those skincare infused foundations, but this stuff just went even further on coverage, I feel like, but both are still great. And I wonder if you were like a real oily skin person, if the Yummy Skin might be even a little much. Like it's just so juicy on there. And granted, I did it with the primer too. The primer is, I think, maybe a big contributor because that had a lot of dewy texture. I'd like to kind of see what everything feels like without that underneath. There we are, just fluffing up the brows. I just like the way this fluffs up. I like the pigment in it. Just a really nice little brow gel with all the color, and it's the type of thing I could use on its own too if I wanted to do a quick brow without any kind of pencil step at all. Let's do a little Milani eyeshadow primer. I feel like I'm going to be sad when this school year is over because I need to figure out how Belle's going to get to continue to see her teachers more because she loves her teacher so much. Like, how can they stay connected? Because she's not going to handle this well. Both of my kids really. Biddy is very, like, every day when I go to pick her up from school, she stops and she hugs her teacher at the door. And it's like they're almost like first and foremost most comfortable around adults. Biddy particularly, from the sounds of her stories of the way things go on a school day for her, like I think she's more standoffish, like she's slower to join into groups of kids and stuff like that, which is kind of crazy because she's like our boisterous, like loud, crazy class clown kind of kid here at home. But I feel like at pre-K she's a little more like reserved, and that was totally me as a child. Like I had my home self that was just crazy and going nuts and like playing with my cousins and doing all this stuff. But when I got into classroom mode, I was like, okay, I gotta be serious here. But their teachers are wonderful people, and I think that's what's allowed this connection that each of them have to their teachers. Okay, I got this little Ilia palette. It's called the Necessary Eyeshadow Palette, and they have a cool and a warm, and I actually got the cool one because I just thought those shades looked really, really good. Can I get it up close? So it's all matte except for this one and this one, okay? And one row kind of is like more brownish, cool brown, and one has a little bit more plumminess, but it's still really like soft. Any amount of color in this is pretty muted. I'm gonna go into this shade here. I've only used this a couple times, and what I will say is like the shadows don't like immediately overwhelm me on the eyes. I actually think they're really easy to work with and build, but they don't go crazy at first touch to the eye, which is kind of my vibe, you know? I like to build an eyeshadow. See, look at this hazy, this is the Dusty Lilac right here. Matte, kind of pretty hazy color, so nice. Then I want to just kind of buff the edge. This is my little Morphe like blending type brush, and grab some of that top shade there. It's kind of creamy, and it just kind of blurs right into your skin tone. Kind of nice, right? And then we're going to go down here, going to use this burgundy color. Is it really burgundy? You know, plummy burgundy. Isn't that nice? I like this. I haven't heard really any buzz. Like, this was one of those things I went into totally blind, you know, nobody, not that nobody has recommended it, but you know, I haven't heard anybody talking about it. So I'm tapping that in on the outer lid, and I'm letting that blend in with my crease shade, and it's just so pretty. Do you have this, or do you have the warm one? Do you like it? Do you think they're just nice little everyday palettes? Because that's the vibe I'm getting. Look how nicely that deeper shade, I've merged that up, okay? I didn't put any shadow on my brush just now when I pulled this in. I'm just like kind of hitting the crease and letting that all blend out. Really pretty. Then I think I'm going to take some of this shade for the lid. Just give it a little glow, a little gloss. Show you guys what that's all about. It's really pretty. It's like a taupe. It's a perfect taupe. It's a Kristen Game type of shade. Really nice. You might see it in the way it catches the light in the palette. You might even think like, is that a highlighter shade? No, it's got some depth, but it glows, and not in a flaky, there's absolutely no flake. If you're a person who just likes a little glow, like that much glow out of your eyeshadow, but not much more than that, you could love this. This shade has some shimmer, but it's not a real like apparent kind of thing. Now I need to go back to this and just kind of overlap back the other direction. Do you ever do that? Get a little too carried away on the lids, and you didn't want to lose what was out here. Not really any fallout with that, just one little flake. Then I'm going to take my Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Cocoa, and by the way, this is really similar to different like dark brown sticks that I've gotten from e.l.f. Both their Mint Melt line and the Cookies and Dreams. Is that what that stuff was called? Like if you have the dark brown from that, you're getting the cocoa caviar stick look. I just feel if there's one little difference, I feel like I can be even gentler with the cocoa. Like if you could see what little pressure I'm applying, you can probably tell that I'm not tugging at my eye whatsoever to get this on. And that really is the vibe here. You know, it's just very light application. Then I can put a little down here, gently smudge. Talk about effortless. Like, I think everybody needs a deep shadow stick in their life on days when they just don't want to fuss with the liquid liners and even a pencil liner. even a standard pencil is too much for you on that day. Do this. And I'm really pumped, you guys, because I have a mascara to use that I'm enjoying quite a bit, and it was recommended by someone in my YouTube comments. It's the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Stretch and Strengthen Mascara. I went looking for this, and at first I could only find it in a waterproof version, so I passed, and the next time I went back they had just the regular kind, so yay. But it's really good. I like how when you pull the brush out of it, it's got a good amount of product on there, like, and that does help it build. I'm not scared of pulling out a brush that's got a little goop going, so long as I can continue raking through and, you know, it will sort of even its way out. So that's what the tube looks like. And then the brush, like I said, it's a traditional bristle brush. It's a little bit tapered toward the tip, but it comes out with some stuff on it, it seems. But then that makes it build faster. Like I'm going to show you here after just a few seconds of work what it looks like, and you're going to be like, what? So whoever recommended this, could you please raise your hand in the comments section again so I can thank you, because this has turned out to be really nice. Like that's just one little pass through. I'm thrilled. I'm just, yes, absolutely, 100%. And I'll go back and I'll add a little more there, but like it's not even that necessary. It just looks so good. I have so enjoyed this little go-round we've had with this makeup here. I'm trying to think in my head, like, what are the top things? Now, while I like this little eyeshadow palette, for what I own in my collection, these are not uncommon shades, okay? So while I like it, and if you're looking for like a clean makeup eyeshadow palette, it could be a good option for you. But I would have to admit to you, and you guys know without me even admitting it to you, I have these shades already in other places. My top three would have to be the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Foundation, that gorgeous blush that just kind of, from Say, that just kind of pulled across the skin. The shade was Chilly, and probably this mascara. I know we haven't even done lips yet, but I don't really have anything brand new on that. Now I'm to that point where I'm just kind of bouncing back and forth between the eyes. It seems like it holds the curl pretty good. Look at that. That's the thickness. Seriously though, the surface of the skin looks so good. It looks so like my skin is really that flawless. That's what it looks like getting up close. I'm very, very happy with that. Only thing about this is that it does take a little bit to dry. I didn't get as great of a curl on this side. Sorry, left eye, I'm always failing you. I'm reinforcing it there and I'm making it okay. But I really like that mascara. And then a newer lipstick that I got, it's not at all new on the market, but it's this Rimmel Lasting Finish in the shade 08. I was just, you know, a few weeks ago randomly browsing in Walmart and I picked this up, and it's such a pretty shade. And there's like a smell to these that I really remember. But I want to do pink today. This is such a wearable kind of medium pink here. The color is so opaque. There's a little bit of like a satin finish in that. I'm a big fan. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my lifter gloss. This has been my little like cherry on top trick that I've been doing in Pearl. And letting some of that come on top. Just for a pretty like extra finished look. So that, guys, is my finished look. I'm so pleased. This was so much fun. Thanks for coming along and kind of bearing with me as I didn't have like a ton of experience to share on this. It was just a first try moment with this Danessa Myricks stuff as well as my new blush here, and I just thought those products did so well. I feel like I probably would be able to go without having a primer quite that juicy on my skin because I think the foundation carried a lot of hydration on its own, but my skin feels great right now. Again, I did set it all over. Every part of my skin lightly at least received some of that NYX No Filter powder, and that really helped me keep the glow but get a finish that I think is going to last for me well all day. So thank you so much for watching, my friends. I will see you again soon. I love you. Bye.